I'm the diffuser here at Stan Lee's Comikaze Expo. You're about to watch the Stan Lee Who Wants to Be a Superhero reunion Q&A panel. You don't want to miss it. And this is Down the Road Show.
The emitters, little thing that makes the arch back and forth across the knuckles. And then I ran the cables along the arm to a battery pack back here, and the button was in the thumb. So I could squeeze it, go zzz. So for a couple of conventions, circa 2009, 2010, I would walk around the floor, and you've never heard a sound like that. People go, so they're having flashbacks to their involvement with the LAPD, but that's all right. So because this was like prototype 1, I used speaker wire to run back to the battery pack. So if any of you are familiar with Tommy Castillo, he's an artist. I don't know if he's here at this show, but he's a very good zombie type artist. And him and his assistant are at their table, their booth, and I've been walking around. This is like on a Sunday. I've been walking around all day talking to people. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's awesome. This is great. Okay, yeah, sweet. Good to see you again. But you know what happens to wire when you keep doing this to it? So at one point I walk up to Tommy Castillo's booth. There's this cute little girl sitting there. So I'm like, hey, I'm the diffuser. How you doing? So it was really nice to meet you, but I'm gonna walk over here for a minute. Now, as funny as that was, the poor girl thought I was having a seizure. So medical was called over to me. I'm hiding off in a corner trying to get the damn glove off of me because it's still shocking me. Medical team runs over, like lays me down, starts wanting to do CPR on me. And I'm like, no, it's just stupidity. You can't cure it. You can't cure it. So, there, are you happy now?
They're literally the scariest things you've ever seen, so I'm glad you don't have them now.
They were pretty awesome though.
They were fantastic, but they were scary.
Dangerous and almost lethal. All right, another question for someone on the cast. Yes, ma'am.
There's a microphone right there.
This goes kind of out to anyone.
And it actually worked out to my advantage of just being myself and not worrying about being eliminated. Helped me make it to the end. But that was my biggest fear when I went on there, was not making it and making a fool of myself. But I said, you know, you can't let anyone make you feel bad about who you are. You have to accept yourself and be happy the way you are, and things work out.
We both. I mean, it was a fun time, but I don't think I was prepared for the reality TV aspect of it, which is kind of stupid because it's a reality TV show. So I think that's probably was my difficulty.
The same thing that Levity said. I had 48 hours, so I had another day to make an ass out of myself. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, no, that's good. One of the
genuinely like each other quite a lot, actually. God, it's funny, he's saying 18 and not really getting it. I remember sitting, I'm not sure, yeah, didn't make it onto the show, sitting and having dinner with everybody and sitting next to you and sitting in this lair and really, God, getting blown away. Dan comes on the television and we're all in this lair, and God, it's just like being a Batman, but you're also in costume. And I'm just thinking about, yeah, sometimes, and he's very rich, so that's but it's I just thinking about it now and being up here and really remembering it, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching as much as we really enjoyed making it. But, and being there, and I remember that sitting there with you, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing, and we're here, and I
didn't sound like that. That was touching me.
No, you know he was really young, but he was
12. You sounded a little bit like that.
He was very handsome. He was a handsome man. But for me, to be honest, getting eliminated really was not fun. I think I actually cried like a baby, and I think it was actually on television. But you know, you do, because we're really real people, and after a while, you really believe living side by side in these beds with a shower curtain for a door for the bathroom. In the shower, it was crazy. But getting eliminated was really, really hard. And having Stan Lee tell you where you're eliminated, even though there's aspects, you know, you're on stage, there's cameras, you're looking, even though I know he actually really hated doing it. That really wasn't fun. So I'd have to say, and not getting to be able to see these people anymore. Those were my two most difficult things.
I think my hardest memory was trying not to overthink absolutely everything, because I think
What, really?
Well, because, okay, most of us love comic books, right? And so we're like, what are they gonna do next? And so when they would give us like a teaser for a challenge, we would go so far into left field. We'd be like, okay, Stan Lee, the major plot of this is he's gonna be time traveling in the Back to the Future, where his pencil, like we talked about before, got stolen and he couldn't write comic books. And so Stan Lee's not gonna be Stan Lee anymore. And we went literally for like hours at a time. We were trying to figure out the main plot. I never guessed it was Giant Stan, just an FYI. Never guessed it was going to be Giant Stan.
He would sit in these couches and he would sit for like hours. He'd be like,
thank God they never made it on TV because I probably looked like such an idiot.
I think he missed like 2 meals that day.
I
It
did.
would have been a great Big Brother show. Because all the off-camera stuff was awesome.
I know! We used to play superhero ping pong. I was convinced that was going to be on the TV show. Now they just said ping pong.
I broke the ping pong table. Remember when I fell into the ping pong table?
It was so much fun because we
Great
didn't actually
stuff.
play regular ping pong because we were superheroes. So we played superhero ping pong, and so you couldn't actually hit the table. So you had to literally hit the ball with the paddle, and you could hit it off the ceiling, the walls, or anything else, but it couldn't touch the table, or you got like that was the out. And so we literally had to kind of like bouncing around the whole entire layer.
We broke some shit too.
And you guys,
I think you
they
broke
did a lot of crying. I was amazed. I'm like, why are these grown men crying so much?
No, I swore I would not cry on TV, and I didn't. So luckily, thank goodness, because that was one of the things that was driving me nuts on reality shows. But I didn't do it, so that was good. And then I agree, elimination was extremely hard because they didn't see it coming, and so I was like, what? And then it just caught me completely off guard, and I was like, and then I was wish there was something I could do differently, but you know, I say overthinking it. No,
Just a little bit.
Right. You know what's, okay, this is a little side funny story. Okay, do you guys remember the bee challenge where we got trapped in the bees, right? And so, Jarrett's a cop, right? And so he's constantly looking at absolutely everything. And so we're in the school that's abandoned and it's creepy, right? And so we're kind of working our way through the lair and working our way through the school and stuff like that. And then there's one scene where they drop a net on us, right? And so Jarrett's like, and hold, and the net goes, falls on the floor, and he goes, all right, we can go. And people were like, and we had to reshoot it because they're like, you have to get trapped in the net. And we were like,
Oh, so really? So you're walking through this warehouse.
Right.
And I've been a cop for 20 years, so I'm used to looking for like people who want to shoot me. So as we're walking through this thing, I'm like, there's 2 guys on the roof. Don't look at them, guys. Don't look. There's 2 guys on the roof, and they're going to stop. Boom. All right,
exactly
let's go.
like it. It was just like, you know.
And they're like, cut. We need to shoot that. I'm like, what are you talking about? We just totally nailed that challenge.
We're winning.
And they were like, no, we really kind of need the net to fall on you. I'm like, Pusha. No. So they finally talked us into doing. I said, okay, you cannot ding any one of us. We're totally getting trapped by that stupid trap because we nailed that. So yeah, that was a good memory.
All right, Basuda.
I was thinking about when we could hear what they were saying downstairs from us because they were running cables, and they had little tiny openings around the cables. And we were like, oh, they're down there planning. Yes. So we heard them say, oh my God, it's gonna totally suck getting up at 4 a.m. tomorrow and dragging them to the amusement park. So I'm like, aha. So all of us secretly went to sleep that night in our costumes. And the girls had little things in their hair. And let me sleep on my back to not mess up my makeup and stuff like that. So then these sirens go off at 4 a.m. Everyone's like, oh.
We're like,
We all
oh no.
jump out of bed, ready to go. And they're like, oh yeah, they're superheroes. How did they know? We're like, okay. But
Literally every night, one of us is down here like this.
That was you.
what are we doing tomorrow?
Overthinking it, you know.
Yeah, the elimination was really hard, like everybody said, like making friends with everybody, and no one was crappy. No one did anything bad. It wasn't like, wow, you messed that up. And it was actually the funny Stan story. Somebody asked him, like, man, how do you prepare for an elimination? That must be really hard. And he said, well, I make sure that I have lots of toilet paper. Oh, wait, I think you're talking about something else. Wow, that was awesome. There were a lot of like really great, weird Stan jokes and moments. But yeah, I mean, it sounds weird, but people really cried on the show. And when you're watching TV, reality shows, you're like, why are people crying? It's not that serious. But being together, being tired, being kind of stressed sometimes. Sometimes you're not getting much sleep sometimes. Someone next to you that you really love is snoring really loud. You miss your family and friends. And yeah, like it was surprising to see people get so emotional, but it was, you know, it was real.
It's like a pressure cooker in there because like everything is so intense, and literally we lived as superheroes. We never like used our real names for probably 3 weeks.
We still don't. I don't know half these people by their real name.
I call him Diffuser, and I've known him forever, and yet I still call him Diffuser. He's in my phone as Diffuser.
I thank you every time I dry my hair with my diffuser.
Spelled wrong, but that's fun too.
Nobody on our season ever got in a fight or anything. We didn't do anything like that.
No, I just got scolded by Stan for playing little practical jokes.
We got a couple fights.
Yeah, but we all were good friends, and even after the show, whenever we call each other, I still call feedback. Sometimes I have to remember what his real name is because I never used it. But we did become really close, and whenever like I need something as a single parent, feedback will make sure that I get the support, and his tech team, they'll help support. When my son wanted to play football, they all donated for his uniform and stuff. So it's just like a big family, one big happy family. So and then in our season, they never did any cuts. You just, whatever you did, you got out there, you had to do it. That camera's rolling, and that's what you see. That's why you see so much drama and so many tears and people so upset because like feedback loves Stan so much. And like I remember one scene when I was in the bathroom crying with one of the producers. Later, a producer asked me, he said, did you really want to take yourself off the show? And I was like, yeah, because him and Major Victory just love Stan Lee, love comic books. And I know I didn't really read comic books. I was kind of doing it for my son. So I felt like, why should I take this opportunity when he really would just die to be next to Stan Lee? So it was just like that kind of feeling. But when you're watching on TV, you like think, oh, why would she do that? She doesn't know him and stuff. But by the time you're there for weeks and you're in there with each other, you just become a family, just like your real family, and you put all your love and your time in there, so it's not so cutthroat.
Yeah. All right, Hygiene.
Well, quickly, because I know we're going to wrap things up. The hardest part for me was probably being away from my husband and not having any communication, emails, phone calls. That's isolating. I got one phone call, and yes, I did cry a lot. And I think just physically, I was worried physically that I wasn't going to make it. I was kind of like how Fat Mama said, I'm going to be off on the first episode. And then when it kept going and going, I was like, I'm not going to make it until the end. And when in life do you really get to push yourself like that and have real superhero challenges, mental, physical? So I think the hardest part was just keeping the faith and hanging in there.
Hardest thing for me was probably, as they mentioned, one, not hearing my own name for a month has a very weird psychological effect. But worse than that was being filmed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for almost a month. They had cameras everywhere, not just the cameras like this gentleman has a camera, but they had mounted cameras. And at night you hear this, like if you roll over in bed, you hear this, where they're zooming in to see if you're doing something in the dark, and you know, that's a little disturbing. So I actually had nightmares a few times after we got back from the show where I'd see those little red lights and I'd hear that sound, and it was very, very creepy.
I actually, when I got home, I didn't think the show was over yet. Because I was thinking, okay, I know they were in my home. Did they put cameras?
Yeah.
Right.
I thought about that with the hotel when I got voted off. Can I tell you? Because it just caught me off guard when I got eliminated, and I was like, maybe it's a challenge in itself. And then I was like, okay, here we go. And the whole time until I got on the plane, I'm like, nope, I'm getting on the plane, I gotta go.
Your frame kind of changes. I mean, everything suddenly, you know, you've been in this environment where everything has been a challenge. And in a way, it's kind of interesting because then you go out in the real world and you start looking at things as, oh, this is a challenge. It's not something I can't do, it's just a challenge. And I think if we all embrace that kind of methodology against the things that are hard, we might surprise ourselves in how successful we can be.
Ladies and gentlemen, who do we all owe this to, this experience that each and one of us experienced? We cherish for the rest of our lives. We owe it to one man.
I figured I'll have to just walk in because he'll never stop talking. He's a great man. He was one of the winners of one of our superhero contests years ago, right?
Absolutely.
And you never forgot it.
Never.
And you never paid me any money. We'll talk later. Anyway, I want to congratulate all of you. You did a great job. And I want you to know that they appreciate it. I appreciate it. This man has no appreciation. I interrupted a great autograph session to come here to say hello to everybody here, especially you people. You will talk later. Anyway, enjoy the panel. These people are great. You're great for being here, and you're getting the microphone.
Thanks, Stan.
Love you, Stan.
All right, folks, we want to thank you for coming out to this Stan Lee's Who Wants to Be a Superhero Q&A. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please give these cast members a round of applause.
Thank you, guys.
So we're gonna do one pose, but we're just hanging out. We're just friends. We're superheroes. It's what we do. We're smiling. And on 3, 2, 1, we're gonna do a pose. Everyone take a pose.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't either. This is what I was supposed to do. It's like you're grabbing someone's.
was on day 3. Oh, I'm sorry. I was there for 12 hours.
1, 2, 3, go!
And we change.
Oh, wait.
All right, that's good. That's good. Everybody good? Take your gloves away from me. They are turned on. Okay, everybody twerk. No, I'm kidding.